You might look at someone like Mr. Beast and think, damn, this guy puts a lot of work into his videos. On the other hand, you might look at some old PewDiePie and think, all this guy does is play a video game for 30 minutes? Even I could do that. But could you? Was it really as easy as it seems to be a YouTuber back in the day? If that was the case, how come everyone who attempted back then isn't famous today? Better question, would all those who were famous back then succeed today? Let's start with the obvious. Clearly, there is a higher barrier of entry to becoming a YouTuber today. Sure, the steps are the same. Pick up a camera, film yourself, and upload it. But don't expect any overnight fame from Minecraft Let's Play #1. There is clearly a stricter hidden set of guidelines to becoming viral, which makes sense. YouTube isn't new anymore, okay? No more dramatic chipmunk and humping Star Trooper. Those are for TikTok instead. You have to compete with the best of the best on this site to get anywhere. I mean, technically, even back then you had to, but your competition was what? Like Vine compilations? I mean, now it's TikTok compilations, so it's not too different, but I mean, take a look at PewDiePie's, for the longest time, most viewed video, a funny montage. If you were to upload this today, there's a pretty low chance it would get the same numbers that this one has. I mean, don't get me wrong, the video is a classic with amazing jokes like this, but I mean, just look at it. I mean, the editing, the thumbnail, the style, it's all very dated. Obviously. Compare that to Mr. Beast's most popular video and the difference is clearly striking. If you were to upload Mr. Beast's video back then, besides the fact that half that shit didn't exist, then the video would be instantly viral. I mean, his competition was like Smosh. There is something clearly important to note here. Videos that are popular today would probably do well back then, but videos popular back then, classics like Chocolate Rain, they might have a tough time today. That's the thing, right? YouTube is just such a rapidly evolving landscape. I mean, 1 minute ago, we had big Chungus memes and top 10 videos, and now we have brain rot TikTok jokes and tier lists. Actually, maybe things aren't that different, but there's a factor here that we need to consider. This style of format from PewDiePie was definitely not normal at the time. That's a key thing about older YouTube. Yes, the famous back then still lacked today's production value, but they were still miles ahead the average person's dark, blurry, and unintelligible upload. I mean, you gotta realize that a lot of the time back then, people literally just filmed and uploaded, okay? There was nothing in between there. So when all you did was cut out some footage, add a webcam background, did some zany faces, and added a few sound effects, brother, you were the next Markiplier, okay? Take a look at this not so great thumbnail. No offense, Sky. You might get the idea even you could do this, which you probably could, but you gotta realize what tools they had available at the time. At this point, it sounds like I'm talking about some ancient long lost society. I mean, these were people from like 10 years ago. Obviously, it looks easy to do. I mean, here's a speedrun attempt of me making an old Captain Sparkles thumbnail, but of course, we have to keep in mind relativity. Again, like with the Markiplier example, what they had was maybe not great by today's standards, but still miles ahead of everyone else's just randomly YouTube auto-generated thumbnail. I mean, they were basically working with a completely new platform with no previous data. I mean, they were just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what would stick. And us, the viewers, well, we were clicking on them, so clearly the thumbnails couldn't have been that bad, right? The YouTubers working back then were pioneers, okay? I damn near say they were the most brave people that have ever existed in the history of the world. Today, there are millions upon billions of different tutorials that exist to become a famous YouTuber, which, by the way, is for a good reason, okay? These videos, they make a ton of money, like coming from me. Just so you know, the next time some guy's giving you some YouTube guru advice, just know he's making a fat fucking penny off of you. Just know I could be doing this, okay? But I don't, because of my passion, my love for the craft, my adoration of what I do. Wait, how much is that? How much is that? How much is that behind? That, I love what I do. However, there's another factor that makes earlier YouTube just a bit easier. It's novelty. I mean, back then, if you thought of something, chances are literally nobody else had ever uploaded it before. Compare that to nowadays, and you have to be a goddamn fucking think tank extraordinaire to come up with an idea that's never been done before and that people give a shit about. But that doesn't mean oversaturation didn't exist, okay? I remember a time when there were more gaming channels than stars in the night sky of a fucking average light polluted American town. Not to mention the difference between the scope of a viral video back then and one today is still massive. Okay, it is massive. Today a viral video might be visiting every 7-Eleven on the fucking planet, and back then a viral video will just be something plain silly. It was simply just a bit easier to come up with a viral video back then, and it was just generally less costly. To be fair though, to account for that, the virality of back then and today also lines up. I mean, I think most videos back then, if they were considered viral, had like 10+ million views, and Mr. Beast cracks like 100 million on every fucking video today. I don't know, man. You can have a video of fucking Schlatt reacting to TikToks that gets like 17 million views, which is half of the fucking infamous Star Wars kid meme, which means he's half as viral, I guess, right? Based off view metrics. But not really, right? Like, not really. In fact, I want to mention the idea of a viral video has kind of been lost to time, I feel like. What's really the most recent viral video that you've seen on YouTube that wasn't like a Mr. Beast fucking upload that you liked? Let's face it, if anything is viral these days, it's probably coming from TikTok, and it's probably random as hell. That's another thing too. I feel like content creators these days have a lot more outside opportunities to promote their content. I mean, you see it all the time now with people posting live stream clips on TikTok trying to get some reach there. To name a better example, we can literally look at Jinxie, one of the most popular streamers at the moment. He literally said himself in like a podcast or interview that literally what he would do is spam clips from his live stream on TikTok. And well, clearly it worked. He has a very incredibly successful career now. So lots of people today talk about the demand for perfection that modern YouTube has. And although I can't lie, the bar has been raised, like I said, I feel like there's a bit more to it. Like I said, the space is pretty competitive, okay? You gotta appeal to the right kind of people kind of thing. You gotta react to the skibbity toilet kind of thing. But like I hinted to earlier, that kind of demand still existed back in the day too, albeit in a slightly different way. Just think of all the different eras of YouTube. Gaming, commentary, GTA videos specifically, I don't know why, vlogging, pranks, reaction. A lot of YouTubers fell out of relevancy when their time in the spotlight ended and they couldn't move on to the next hot trend. And I feel like this concept of YouTube eras has only sort of ended recently. I mean, what's the most recent biggest trend you could think of that encompasses all of YouTube? I mean, obviously trends still exist, like, you know, fucking Among Us from 2021, but really think about it. I just feel like since there's so much content these days, it's kind of impossible for that to happen anymore. Any YouTuber you know today that emerged in one of those eras didn't just get here by simply existing. Unless, of course, they're really, really famous. They probably fought tooth and nail to stay relevant. Take a look at Sunday. I'm sure some of you have watched him growing up, you know, Crazy Craft, Minecraft, whatever. Just take a look at this video that was circulating on Twitter.
Today in Among Us, we're mewing.
He's getting the bag by whatever means necessary, right? But I actually have a confession. Something I've actually been kind of hiding from you guys this whole time. There is an aspect of a YouTube video that transcends editing, transcends video quality, production, everything. The thing that separates micro and macro internet celebrities. Something that will always matter in YouTube. Personality. Good comedic timing, scripting, and speaking is something that will make any production from any period enjoyable to watch. That's why you can watch movies from as far back as the 80s and still like them today. These YouTubers got their spot because of who they were. Plop any of them in today's timeline and chances are they would do just fine, probably succeed. And that's probably just because they have the inherent ability for the charm and personality required to be a YouTuber. For example, would a Mr. Beast video really be enjoyable if they replaced Jimmy with some douchebag that's just boring? Probably not, right? But it would be kind of funny for at least one video. So, was old YouTube easy? Probably not. Was it easier than today? Probably. Subscribe.